Hey guys, Stay Patient here with my all-in-one trophy guide for Jazzpunk, one of the easiest and fastest PS4 Platinums at around 1 hour completion time. You'll even be able to earn this twice once the European version releases due to its stacking trophy sets. A lot of people do so-called guides for these types of games, but their videos generally consist of their entire playthrough with no commentary. And that just makes your completion time a lot longer because you end up having to watch a lot of unnecessary footage. So this guide has been trimmed down and sped up in places to ensure watching it doesn't take up too much of your time. I've also added timestamps to the description in case you just need help using chapter select to tidy up specific trophies that you missed. Jazzpunk is actually a lot of fun, so don't be afraid to explore around and find all the hilarity that awaits you. When it comes to the trophies though, all of which are missable, I've got you covered. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start off in the Soviet consulate level, which is the first one after you speak to the director at the beginning. And for the verbal morality statute trophy, we need to head to the right and interact with this phone booth, and we're going to enter all of these 4-digit numbers. Now you can figure out what these spell out in your own time, but I'm going to take this opportunity to explain that I'm going to start the footage for all the trophies in this area from that central location where you first spawn into the level. And the reason for that is because anyone who is sort of using the timestamps in the description to jump to a specific trophy, they're going to find it a lot easier to get their bearings if we start off in the same location each time. But for those of you following this from the start to the finish, you don't need to come back here. You can just stay at the end of each trophy because most of them sort of carry on from the previous one. So we're going to head across to the left hand side of the area over the blue stairs and talk to this frog. Now he's going to give us the option to play this little kind of Frogger game. We need to make our way across the road grabbing the item that's floating there. And then once we get back, we're going to put that item on. It's a pair of sort of VR goggles. They're just down next to the frog. So if we pop them on, we're going to be able to do this trophy, which involves helping out this guy that has no saliva. We're going to lick his letter for him, and then we do need to finish off this little side quest by licking all these bits of text. This is to help the frog get free Wi-Fi. But I don't think you can back out of the goggles until you have licked all 8 of these, so just grab them all, it only takes a few seconds. Now we're actually going to head back to the same location for conversationalist. So as I mentioned before, you might as well stay at the end of each trophy, stay where you are, because the next trophy is very likely to carry on from that location. So in this cinema here, we have a cardboard box that we're going to speak to. Now this trophy involves speaking to 3 cardboard boxes. There's another one here outside the Circumflex Apartments on the corner. And you can speak to any of them really, as long as they respond to you with a line of text. Then you know that they've counted. And the final one that I used was all the way round at the other end, just behind this pillar. Now you may have got this trophy earlier naturally by speaking to other cardboard boxes, but they're the 3 that I used. Now we're going to go back across the red bridge, which is where we just ended the previous trophy. I'm trying to do them in a logical order so that you can carry on from one to the next. And we're going to speak to this guy here who's going to give us a degaussing device. And there are 2 trophies related to using this. You don't want to complete the side quest he gives you just yet, because first of all, we want to shoot 4 of these guys that kind of poke out from behind these trees in the center. You don't want to get too close to them, because if you do, they'll hide away again and you'll have to kind of keep walking around until another one spawns. But you'll have 4 of these to take out, and we're on our 4th one now. I believe he pops out on the other side. There he is. So that's the serious degaussing skills trophy. Now we're going to continue using this device for the Essence of Pigeon trophy. Now the side mission itself involves us shooting 3 pigeons. You have to kill them, and to kill them you need to hit them 3 times. So keep shooting at them until they fall. But the trophy itself involves doing something extra, because each one of them is going to drop a bottle of pheromones. And we're going to use this bottle to spray any random citizen, anybody that we can come across, and they're going to be carried off by a bunch of pigeons. So we need to do that 3 times, which will both finish the mission and also earn us the trophy. So that's our second abduction. And here's our third pigeon here. So as soon as we spray this third guy and he gets carried away, we're going to have the trophy pop. There we go, Essence of Pigeon. So now we're going to work on a trophy called Data Mole that isn't actually going to pop until we reach the next level, but we carry out every step that's involved in this trophy right here. We're going to head across to the left hand side over the blue steps. We're going to speak to this guy in this alleyway. He's going to tell us to go and find a mailbox that's marked with chalk, and that's going to be just near the frog that we interacted with earlier. So the frog's there on the right. We want to interact with this mailbox here. You can see the guy hiding inside. He's going to give us a package, and that package is for the man that you may have noticed is sat in the center of the area. He's reading a newspaper on the bench there. So if we take a seat next to him, it's going to give him the package, and he's going to tell us to find a newspaper box with chewing gum stuck to it. So if we go over the green steps here on the southern end, this newspaper box is going to be at the bottom of the steps. And you want to listen carefully to this recording, because although I've got the sound off here, when you play the game, you will need the sound on, because it's going to play you a pattern, a knocking pattern. And we need to replicate that pattern on the door of the motel, which is just here on the right side of the area. So you can actually listen to it several times if you need to. Just keep pressing on that newspaper box and it's going to play the recording, and you can make sure that you get the knock pattern right. Once they let us inside, they're going to give us this quest to take a pigeon into the next level. And that's all we need to do for that trophy, you know, up to this point. Now the Face Infectors trophy is going to require us to start moving on with the actual story mission, which is very, very short. But if we move into the main area, you'll have seen an open window on the outside with some window cleaners. On that notice there, it says that 12 o'clock is lunchtime. So if we push the time forward to 12 o'clock, these window cleaners are going to bring their lift down, which we can now use to get up to that open window. And you'll notice that there's a guy that's been kind of squashed by the lift as it came down. I do wonder if that's scripted or whether it's just something that happens if there happens to be someone down there. But once we get up here, we can go through the window, and the first trophy is going to involve interacting with this microscope on the left-hand side. Now we're going to play 1 round of Space Invaders. I've sped this up, so don't worry, you don't have to have super fast reaction speeds. A lot of the footage has been sped up, but that's all you need to do for the Face Infectors trophy. Now this next one involves carrying on with the mission a bit further. We're going to interact with this computer screen on the right hand side. Everything's going to go red, and we're going to grab the cereal box. If we shake it a bunch of times, it's going to drop us a whistle. Now we can use this whistle on the telephone, and once you pick up the telephone, or once you get access to it, you don't want to dial 1 just yet, because dialing 1 is going to carry on the mission, carry on the main story. We want to dial all the numbers that are listed on the left hand side, and the messages that we hear are actually quite funny, so I do recommend pausing and just hearing them out. When you dial 9, it's going to knock you back out of the phone. You can just reactivate it. So you want to do 2, 3, 9, 0, and 666, and they're all going to have their own separate little recorded kind of voicemail messages. So there we go, that's the long distance charges trophy, and that's the final one in this mission. But I will show you what to do just to complete the mission. There's only a few steps left. We dial number 1, pick up the item that gets dropped out. Then we can grab this photo that's hung on the wall and use that on the security device so that it lets us out and then we can exit via this trash chute. Now we're in a kind of transitional section, and Data Mole, the trophy that we started working on earlier, is going to automatically unlock here because we are able to smuggle the pigeon into the next level. Now we are in the Ikayaki Alley. This is the second sort of main level, and if you keep moving down to the right hand side, you'll come across that post box, and just past it you've got this woman who runs a vase shop. Now she's going to tell you about all these flies that are infesting the shop, so we're going to go in, and instead of taking care of the flies, we're actually going to destroy all of her vases. And you can still clear out the flies after you've done this if you like, and she'll still be thoroughly thankful, which is rather odd. She says she's in our debt or something, despite the fact that we've completely destroyed her livelihood. So there we have it. That is the insurance premiums increase trophy done. And from here we're going to exit the shop and we're going to make our way to the main square. Now I didn't start the footage from the beginning of the level this time because this square is very obvious and easy to get to. It's where all the routes lead, and we'll come across this guy that has massive ears but can't hear us. So we're going to pick up the earbud next to him and interact with his head, which will remove his brain as well as a sandwich. And as soon as we eat that sandwich, spongiform encephalopathy will unlock. So now we're going to move into the Golden Luck or Golden Lucky Electric Squid restaurant, and we're going to need to capture 5 spiders for the story to continue on with the main mission. But for this above and beyond the Spider of Duty trophy, we need to capture all 8 spiders. So the first one is going to be on one of the plates that's circling around this conveyor belt. I'm going to grab that one, and then on the inside of this counter, this sushi counter, there's going to be a second one there. The third one is going to be near the cowboy here, just behind him in this little corner. I accidentally jumped, I was forgetting the buttons. And then there's one up in the corner of the window alcove. Another one just nearby, hidden away on one of these chairs here. And then we have 3 in the bathroom area, 1 in the men's toilets here, or it's more like a shower area by the looks of it. And then there's 1 up in the corner, just outside the women's. And the final one is going to be in the ladies' toilets on the other side of the sink. So there we go, there are the 8 spiders that we need to collect for the Above and Beyond the Spider of Duty trophy. Now from here, I'm going to just speed up the footage and show you how to complete the rest of the mission. You throw the spiders on the guy guarding the kitchen, grab this poisonous fish and squirt his goo on one of the plates here. Now the cowboy is going to eat it and die in the toilets. So we're going to grab his liver, or his kidney, sorry, and then just use that to knock everyone over on the way back. Now this screen is another sort of transitional screen. It's interactive, and I've sped this right the way up, but you need to activate all of these white dots. Now the final dot is that one that's flashing on the screen that you just saw there. So I decided to make a save, because if you activate that final dot and you missed any of the other ones, then you won't get the trophy. You can chapter select. You'll notice that I did have to reload. I cut out some of the footage, but I did have to reload because I did miss some of these. But just make sure you go around, grab all these white dots and turn them all yellow by sort of driving over them. And then once you're confident you've got them all, you can go to the final one, and that pops the Around the World in 80 Puns trophy. Now we're moving on to the Ikayaki, no we're not, sorry, we're going on to the Kai Tak Resort area, and we're going to make our way to the right hand side where the swimming pool is, and there's 2 trophies we can earn here. The first one is Hasselhoff in a pinch, so as you can guess from the name, we have to save this guy that's drowning. Then we can pop out of the pool and give him to his girlfriend, who is just here. And for some reason I'm launched up into the air. And the second one in the swimming pool The second trophy we can earn here is Polyplegic, and for this we're going to need to climb the diving board, just simply walk to the end of it, which will launch you up in the air, but then you need to move to the right or left and make sure you land on hard ground instead of the water. Now we're back at the starting area and we're going to make our way to the beach. So to do this, we turn around and we take the footbridge that is open and able to be used. And if we walk down to the beach, you'll see an arrow pointing at a kind of metal detector. Pardon me. Now the gauge on this metal detector is going to go up every time we get near one of the 6 items that we need to find for this trophy. And it will kind of vibrate and make a noise as well. So it's really a case of scouring the whole area. Now you could slow down my footage if you like and go to all the locations that I found items in, because I believe they show up in the same places each time. But it's pretty simple, just keep walking around until you notice the gauge go up, and that's going to earn the Exhume to Consume trophy as soon as we found all 6. Now for the Jacques Voyeur Room Explorer trophy, we're going to go to the reception. And this is how we carry on with the actual main mission, because we need to go to our room, which is number 405. He's going to give us our ticket, but before we go to our room, after we've signed the visitor's book, which you don't have to do I don't think, but might as well, we're not going to go to floor 4 just yet. We're going to go to the 2nd floor. And on this floor we need to find the guy that's patrolling. Now he's one of the other staff members of this hotel, so we're going to walk all the way around, and I think I can see him at the end there. Now he's going to have a master key. The key that we've got is only for our room, but if we grab his master key, that's going to give us access to all the rooms. And for this trophy you literally just need to enter a few different rooms. Now it popped for me after entering 2 rooms, which were the 2 right next to where I found the guy with the key. Now if it doesn't pop for you right here, then obviously just keep entering more rooms and it will pop eventually. Now from here we're going to carry on with the story, so we're going to pop back into the elevator, go up to the 4th floor, and our room is the 2nd one on the left here, 405. And this next trophy is Heroin Chic. Now this is related to the main mission. We need to speak to our director who's going to give us the mission. There's the briefcase that we need to grab in a moment, but he's asked us to kind of tart ourselves up as a woman basically. So rather than painting our lips red, we're actually going to paint our face, and once you've covered a small portion of your face, the Heroin Chic trophy will unlock. Now we're going to go ahead and paint our lips and also put the wig on. So for the Don't Get Involved trophy, once we've picked up our briefcase here, we're going to exit our room, and we can jump off the balcony just to save time. We're not going to take any damage or anything. You can't die in this game as far as I know. And for this one you literally just have to kiss, I believe 3 people, but I think some of these didn't count because they were currently sort of undergoing an animation climbing up over that diving board. But once you've actually kissed 3 people, I believe it's 3, maybe 4, the trophy will pop. And you can ignore this spider, this is just something that this woman asked me to do while I was there. Now from here we're going to complete the actual main mission. There's no trophy related here, but if we go into the cocktail lounge behind the reception desk, we're going to be given a drink, and we need to make sure to swap our briefcase for the one on the floor there. And as we exit we'll realise that I think we've been poisoned by the drink. I think that's what happens here, and we'll eventually end up back in our room and we'll get this message under the door. Now this is asking us to go and meet someone at the swimming pool, but it's not the swimming pool out the front there that we've earned some trophies at, up to this point. It's actually the one out the back, so jump off the balcony at the back and speak to the guy underneath the canvas. Now he's going to give you this guitar, and he wants you to knock down this pig that's wheeling around the area. You may have noticed it during your time spent wandering around. You're going to pop it on the spit here over the fire and turn the handle, and that's going to open up this clam. Now this is our route into the next area. Now there's a few different sort of sections that I've skipped here because there's no trophies related to them. But eventually we'll get to this level, which is the bachelor pad if I remember correctly. And once we gain access to this sort of penthouse suite or whatever it is, there are going to be, I think, 4 trophies we can earn in this room here, and we're going to make our way around the area in an anti-clockwise direction. The first room is the bathroom, and we're going to sit on the bidet, and that's going to earn us the Clean as a Whistle trophy. There we go. So once that's popped, we can go into the next room, which involves picking a lock, which is in fact a nose. And this trophy is But She Can Fly. Now to pick this lock, you just move your fingers around and it will eventually pop. Now for this one, we need to jump onto the bed, grab the pillow, and take part in a pillow fight. Now once again, I was forgetting the buttons, but if we knock her enough times, she's going to be launched out of the window, and there we have the But She Can Fly trophy. Once again, we'll keep moving around this penthouse into the living area here, and we want to grab the record off the kind of coffee table. And for the DJ POLYBLANK trophy, we need to scratch 2 records. So there's one already on the record player or the deck. We're going to activate that one, either one really, it doesn't matter which order you do them in. I'm going to scratch it using the X button, and then we're going to swap back to the other one. Scratch this one as well, and there we go, DJ POLYBLANK. Now the next trophy, a Kissenger for all seasons, can be cheated a little bit. If we go down the steps here, the idea is you spin the bottle and then get a kiss. But you need to do it twice, and usually you would do the second kiss later in the game. But if you make a save here like I just did, you're going to get a kiss from an unexpected person right here, some homeless dude. And if we then reload our save from before getting the kiss, the game's going to remember that we've already had one, despite the fact that we've reloaded from before the kiss happened. And the trophy's going to pop after this second kiss. Now I will explain that later on you're going to be flying between different rooftops. And if this gets patched, if this method gets patched, then the second kiss is on the rooftop with the water where you take part in a kind of gravy boat race. There'll be a woman there with mistletoe over her head, and you can kiss her and the same guy will come up and plant one on you, and that will pop the trophy, just in case they patch that method that I just showed you. But eventually, after taking part in several sporting events, which I'm not going to show you because they're easy enough, you don't have to win them, we're going to end up here on the tennis rooftop with the tennis court, and we need to interact in this kind of greenhouse area, interact with the jacuzzi, which is going to blend these guys up. We can scoop it out for the Bloody Mary on the Rocks trophy once we give it to this woman that's on the sun lounger. Now this is actually the final trophy, but before we earn the final one, I'm just going to show you where these 6 items are, because once you finish playing tennis with this guy, there are 6 items we need to find to boost his ego. There's one inside on the chair there, and hopefully you're following me. I've sped up all this footage, but you should be able to keep up with me hopefully. You can always slow down the video if you need to. But like I say, this isn't trophy related, this is just story based. I just thought I'd show you, because I know a lot of you playing this are going to be wanting to get the trophies done real nice and quickly. Now the final item is on the hedge here. There we go. Now once we've filled them up with all 6 items, sorry, we can pop in with the pin, and all these letters are going to appear, all these words, save the director. Now we can follow this little bridge here, and the final trophy involves, be careful how I word this, basically involves eating the secretary out of this jelly. And that's the Breaking the Mold trophy and the platinum. So there you have it, guys. Hope you've enjoyed the guide, or at least found it helpful. It's a super quick, super easy platinum. As I mentioned at the beginning, it can be done in an hour if you follow a guide like this one. And don't forget, the game is coming out in Europe very soon, over the next couple of weeks or so. So if you've looked on the store and it's not there and you're disappointed, don't worry, it is on its way, and when it does come out, it is going to have a stacking trophy list like I mentioned at the beginning of the video. So if you have access to a US account as well as a European one, you can buy both versions of the game and earn 2 trophies within around 2 hours. So this is an ideal game for all you trophy hunters out there. If it is a bit much for you to spend, if you don't want to spend as much money as it costs at the moment, depending on what price it's currently sat at, then it's bound to be one of those games that ends up on one of the sort of indie-based sales eventually on PS4. So maybe wait till then. But thanks again everyone for watching. Thank you very much for the support on the channel. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you all in the next video, so until then, have a good one.